guys. So, I know I didn't get on last week, or I think I got on the week before. I can't remember. For Sunday Sit Down, and I'm taking a break for the rest of the year. And when we come back in 2021, I will have a new day that we do that I do my lives. And the name's probably going to change because it's not going to be Sundays anymore, because that's family days now. Ever since Travis got weekends off, it's a lot harder for me to want to disconnect from family time and come and do Sunday Sit Down. Not that I don't love you guys, of course, but a big part of my reason, probably the biggest part of my reason, or the whole reason that I do Cincy, is to have more time with my family. So I need to honor that and have more time with my family. So I'll be picking a different day of the week, probably during the week, to do our lives. But I wanted to hop on for a minute and talk about something that I kind of thought of today that made me stop and think, and that I want to tell you guys. So, Cincy sent out a thing or an email a week or two ago asking some people who were directors to come up with a 10-second clip with some advice that you would give to, it was either other consultants or new directors or something like that. Anyways, either way, what I said applies, or what I chose applies. And I chose, don't give up. Keep fighting through what your head tells you for what your heart wants. And that really resonates with me, if you can't tell, because I've talked about it some in the group, maybe not as much as I maybe should, but I've talked before about how I really have to get through my head sometimes and what my head's telling me, and it seems to be around this time of year that it happens even worse. And I think it's partly because usually around this time of year is when it's been a minute since I've seen my Cincy people and gone to an event or anything like that, which obviously at this point it's been a long time because we've been doing virtual things. But it's also the time of year, and I don't really like this time of year just because it's cold outside and dreary and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love the snow. It's beautiful, but it's not my favorite time of year, okay? And I don't know if anybody thinks it is. Maybe we probably don't, but it's not to make excuses for anything. It's not to say, oh, well, this is why. But I just, I usually have a funk, and it's usually around this time of year. And I don't think for this year that it's been, for me, even just literally for me, it hasn't been like right in my face, like, oh my gosh, but it's been more of in the back of my mind, like I've had these thoughts like, oh, why am I a leader? Why do I have people looking to me as a leader? And this year especially, it's been more about being a leader. Before now, it's been more about, why am I still in the business? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why do I think that I can make a change in my life? Why don't, all these different things. But this year it's been more about, why do I think that I am, capable of leading all these people that are on our team or on our group? And my mind tells me a lot of the time that I'm not worthy, that I'm not a good leader, that I'm not knowledgeable enough, that I don't, know how to lead this many people, which I don't. It's a learning process. And I don't think I'm going to get even level 1 of the incentive. And I think the reason why I'm not going to get level 1 of the incentive is my own fault, because I think I'm like 1,750 points. And I'm like this close. And that's what irritates me about it. And it's my own fault. And I know it's my own fault because I'm 1,750 points away from level 1 for sponsoring points. It has to be sponsoring points. And I think the reason, honestly, is because I don't try that hard to sponsor anybody, because even though I have a lot of successful frontline that are on our team, I mean, you watch each other, right? And you know each other, I still have my head telling me that I shouldn't be sponsoring anybody because I'm not capable or I'm not a leader or whatever, you know? And I don't have this perfect system of onboarding team members, because every time I start to make a system to onboard team members, I shut myself down because I feel like it's not good enough. And so I have to start fresh. And I think you do that a lot in business, whether it's brick and mortar, whatever the case may be, direct sales, whatever. I think sometimes you have to start fresh. The same thing you're doing is not always going to work for the rest of your life. You're not always going to be doing exactly the same thing. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again with making an onboarding process and, telling myself that I can sponsor people because I am a good leader and I know things about Scentsy. I have experience with Scentsy because I've been in it for almost 5 years. And I check my workstation daily and I, keep watch on all these things and all of our numbers and all these different things, because I do want to be a good leader and I keep track of y'all's numbers, like all my frontline, which are people that I have sponsored or that have rolled up to me after their sponsors quit or whatever. I keep track of your numbers for every month. I just started doing that this year, but I'm kind of proud of myself for that because it allows me to see how everybody has grown throughout the year, and it's really cool to look at, actually. So if you have, downline, you might want to try doing that. It's really fun. But I've made some changes this year, and I think I forget that I've even made any changes, that I've even done any better at all, because even though I have, all I can focus on are the things that I haven't done better. And that's not fair to me either. It's not fair for me to sit here and tell myself, or for my head to tell me all the time, that I'm not good enough, because I am good enough. And I need to tell myself that more. I hope this is making sense. I don't know if it is or not. Basically, my head tells me that I'm not capable and I can't do things, but I know I can do things, and I have to get past that voice in my head. So like I said, don't give up. Keep fighting through what your head tells you for what your heart wants. My heart wants to quit my job. I don't want to work anymore. Not at the, whatever, at the bank that I work at, or for anybody else. I want to work for myself and myself only. And this year I've been so, I don't want to say upset, because I haven't been upset, I guess, about my paychecks that I've made this year. I'm just going to be straight with you guys. Income disclosure statement. I've made $1,000 to $1,500 every month for the last few months. I can't think of how long exactly. And don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I know that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for direct sales. A lot of people never get there because they don't even try. And I know that. And I know that I'm doing really good. And I know that obviously a lot of it's because of you guys, because I also get paid on my team, but I also have to make my own, goals to make that money. So it's not just you guys, it's also me doing it. And I know that I'm doing it. I know I'm doing good. And I know you guys are doing good, but I still tell myself, why am I not making more? Why am I not making more? And I just down myself every time we get paid. And I know it sounds stupid to some of you guys, because I know that you guys are newer, or some of you guys are making more than me, or some of you guys just think I'm crazy for thinking that's not good enough. But for me, it's not good enough, and I want to do more. But it's just yet another thing that's been adding up. And I'm And my mind, like I said, is just telling me that it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Even though it's helped our family so much. Like all of our Christmas is paid for. All of our Christmas is paid for. And I don't think we've ever had that since, it's got to have been years. I think maybe when me and Travis first moved to Charleston, like 6 years ago, however long ago it was, 6.5 years. Shoot, probably even then we probably still used a bunch of credit cards, even though we were working, 2 jobs or whatever. I don't think we've ever had a year where our Christmas was paid for, but our Christmas is paid for. Our Christmas is not on a bunch of credit cards this year. And we still got all the presents that we wanted for our families. And that's an amazing thing. And I think that it's crazy that I'm beating myself up all the time because I don't think it's good enough, or because, something in my mind tells me that I'm not good enough, or that it's not good enough, or whatever. And I just want you to know that if you feel that way, then it's not just you. Like, it's not something that, how can I word this without, like, being a total downer? You're going to have hard times. You're going to have your mind telling you things like this sometimes. Maybe some more than others, maybe some less than others. But the important part, and when I tell people all the time, and I know from experience, partly because I've been in almost 5 years, and I'm telling you every single year this happens. Every single year. This is not a new thing for me, okay? But you have to keep going. Because if you don't keep going and you quit, if I had quit the first time, second time, third time, fourth time that this happened, I would not be here where I am today with my Christmas paid for, income disclosure statement, go look it up on your workstation, and not on credit cards. I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have a generator for our house for when the power goes out. We wouldn't have a brand new bed down there that we bought with Cincy money. We wouldn't have free flights available because we didn't get to go on that Bermuda cruise that we're going to use this summer, because we're going to go to Disney anyway. Even if I don't get the incentive, we're still going to Disney. And you know what? Cincy is still going to pay for it. Income disclosure statement. I got to keep saying it. We're still going to Disney because we're going to use my Cincy commission to pay for us to go to Disney. And it's going to be a great freaking time. And we're going to use those flights that we would have used to go to Bermuda to go to Disney. So all is not lost, and I have to keep telling myself that. And I just want you to know that if you feel this way, you're not alone. It's not just you. Sometimes you're going to go through rough times. It's a business. You're going to go through rough times. But the important thing always, always, always is to get up and keep going. And show your team to do the same thing. Because if you give up and you have team members, what reason do they have to go forward? If we can't bring a little, uplifting something to the table, because staying negative all the time, if you stay negative all the time, it's not going to get better, because you're just letting the negativity win. And you can't do that. Otherwise you go nowhere. You don't go anywhere. So I wanted to get on here and say that because I thought of that today, and I decided that I wanted to use that for the World Tour clip. And that's literally the best advice, and the advice that applies to me the most, that I have to tell myself all the time. And I don't want you to feel like you're alone if you feel that way. If you feel like, you can't do anything right, or you can't do this right, or you can't do that right, or, you're not going to be a good sponsor, you're not going to be, the best at PRV or whatever. Listen, I'm not the best at PRV. Some of y'all are killing it and like way leagues above me, okay? And you know what? Quite honestly, I've been kind of mad about it. Not mad about it at you guys, of course, but mad at myself, because I'm like, man, these guys are killing it. Why am I not killing it, But guess what? Your girl ain't hosting Facebook parties. Your girl ain't sponsoring people like she should be. Your girl is me. And I'm letting my head win too much. I have to, like, get over it, you know? I gotta get over it. And it's easier said than done, obviously. I mean, hello, look at me, living proof. That's the whole point of this video, is to let you know I go through this too. It's not just, you know, you don't hit, you know, star consultant, superstar consultant, director, whatever, and then it's smooth sailing from there, because that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. But if you keep going and you get up and you just keep going and working towards what you want and don't give up, then that's how you get to where you want to be. And same thing, same deal, you know, I always tell you, blinders on, stay in your own lane, watch what you're doing, don't worry about what other people are doing. And I'm one of the worst for it. I'm over here comparing myself to this director, whatever. But it doesn't do you any good. It's fine for you to watch people and, you know, see what they're doing, maybe take some ideas from them if you want to. That's what they share them for. And it's good for you to, you know, follow people on Instagram and Facebook that you look up to, or YouTube or whatever. But if it gets to the point where it's putting you in a bad place and you need to unfollow for a while or mute them, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. So Jordan just came up here, so I'm going to go now. Hi. But I just want to let you guys know you're not alone if you feel that way. If you want to talk to me, come talk to me. It's fine. I'll talk to you. And I'm perfectly fine with that because, again, I've been where you've been almost 5 years now. I'm excited because this is my 5th year. In February, it'll be my 5th year. So, anyways, hopefully we'll get to have SFR 2021 in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I will get to meet a lot of you guys that I have not met yet. Mama. A lot of you guys I know from Altcomm, of course. Mama. But a lot of you guys I haven't even met yet. Mama. Like, in person. And I am super excited because I hope that I can meet some of you guys. Huh. Some of these? Yeah, that's fine. Or maybe even all of you guys. That'd be great. Oh, I can't wait. Anyways, don't give up. You can do it. I know you can because I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. Doesn't matter what my mind tells me, I'm not going anywhere. So then you know. Yeah, have a good night.